Yeah, but they're like,
Welcome everybody.
yeah, it's Brola.
Rhoda.
Show's starting.
Show's off. Phone's off.
A moment and a half.
I just don't know where I
Or half.
Phone's off.
Well, it was a moment and a half, and now it's half a moment.
It is
Quarter moment. Quarter 3/8. I don't know math.
I never answered this.
He didn't get on the sheet.
Alright, so welcome everybody. This is a stand-up comedy showcase featuring 3 great geek-based comedians. For all of your geek pop culture jokes and stuff, that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you're not here for that, you're in the wrong place, but the right place at the same time. So getting started here, are there any cosplayers here?
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, this is not a Q&A panel, this is a stand-up comedy show. We will be talking at you. You will be laughing in response.
I know, I just want to know if you guys do other shows outside of conventions.
We'll plug ourselves horribly at the end.
Awesome.
Yes. Shameless promotions at the end. So any cosplayers here today?
I am here.
Yes, yes you are.
Let's just see your face right now.
So in addition to being a stand-up medium, I'm also a cosplayer. And for those who don't know, cosplay is a contraction for costumed roleplay. So the first part of that is the costume. And this can be made by yourself or a friend, family member, small child overseas. Doesn't matter as long as it's right for the fun on time.
called out.
So yeah, I'm going up for a little dark humor there, so if that's what you like, we're going to have a good time here. The only requirement is that it has to be from something, like a TV show, a movie, video game, or an obscure webcomic that for some reason you only hear about at Comic-Cons, like Homestuck, or Lydia, pronounce that, Atelia, or Simfest. Any kinds of those here?
I want to see some Oatloft cosplay.
Yes.
That'd be fun. So yeah, you get weird ones here, and you know, something in the fans surrounding it is called the fandom, and just like the many categories on myfreewaifus.com, there's a fandom for everything.
Would you just? Oh my God.
I'll give you a minute here while you're googling it. That's the thing. So some cosplayers go for extra credit by combining fandoms, but I say go for extra credit and combine competing fandoms, like Star Wars and Star Trek. Boba Ferengi. He always gets paid. Or you do a group cosplay, like Game of Thrones and Harry Potter. You can do the 4 main houses, you know, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Lannister. They always get paid. Or Disney and hentai. They're like Tangled, but with tentacles. I'd pay for that.
There's plenty of Rule 34 for that. I mean,
It's coming.
you could snap some stuff with her hair.
See, I have a script here. I'm just giving myself on pace. So part 2 of cosplay is the role-playing as that character. But it's important to know that not everyone role-plays. There are cosplayers and costumers. Now, a costumer just wears the costumes himself, usually for contests or photo shoots for Instagram, while a cosplayer also speaks and acts as that character, often in crowded hallways or for video shoots for Patreon. So the intensity of roleplay varies based on personal comfort, but you also need to abide by social and legal limits. And to learn what those limits are, ask any Master Roshi cosplayer. Yeah, these are jokes. This is a little here where we're at tonight. But you won't know until someone is role-playing until you actually interact with them. But there's some signs that you can look for. First, if they approach you while clearly speaking in character, or if they're with a group of people, obviously acting out a scene, or if they hand you a business card and tell you about their specials on Patreon. Yay. Yeah, get those chairs out of here.
That's really
chairs.
loud.
Oh, they're for people sitting. That's also good. Started my first cosplay in the spring of my freshman year of high school. This is way back in the late 90s. There were no Facebook groups for cosplay in your area. The only online resource we had were custom-made Yahoo chat rooms. And yeah, I'm old. Yeah, look a little bit younger. So, and it feels like the sound would actually in my ear, not blocked by that. And so you search for these rooms by interest keyword. So I typed in fantasy and role-playing. There were a lot of rooms. Like hundreds. They had a thing for the wizard class. They kept talking about their D6s and D8s. So instead you had to go to your local fabric store. And again, this was in the spring, nowhere close to Halloween. And I was a little embarrassed to say what I was doing. And kids at school made fun of me enough and beat me up enough that I don't want to be embarrassed by asking the retail worker where the fake leather is. So just kind of casually asked about it. And the old lady was like, "Oh, for furniture?" I'm like, "No, I'm making something to wear." She's like, "Oh, do you have a motorcycle?" I'm not that cool. It's just something for this weekend. And she leaned in, smiled a bit. "Is this for prom night?" Yeah, plot twist. So it started out not wanting to be embarrassed about a geeky hobby. Has now been turned into a public conversation about underage BDSM. But at that point, I just kind of noped out the whole conversation because it was going to get only more awkward if I tried to explain this for a role-playing game involving dungeons. Just take a sip of water here because talking makes you thirsty. Talk amongst yourselves for about 10 seconds.
I'm sure it's
Alright, so over the years I've developed a process to creating a great costume. And first you want to create a list of your favorite fandoms that are relevant to the con you'll be going to. And it's important that you're passionate about these because it's only going to go downhill if you're not. Like starting con drinking at noon downhill. Or mansplaining at a feminist panel downhill. Or accidentally hitting on an underage cosplayer downhill.
My minor badges are different colors.
Some people are colorblind. Intentionally. So, cosplayers often have one costume for each day of the convention. So here for Anime Fusion, you might have one for anime, one for gaming, and then the emergency spare to change into after accidentally hitting on an underage cosplayer.
Oh, so that one.
Yeah, this one I'm currently wearing. So once you have the list, you want to hop online for inspiration, and I save ideas to different folders. So I've got like one for costumes, one for props, and one for Rule 34 to use later. Yep, I use that whole time. So when making your costume, you want to highlight your strengths and hide your weaknesses, kind of like being on a first date or a drunken con hookup. That's where I live. The basement. Alright, so all costumes have the limitations of finances, time, and skill. So the first limitation we have is finances. And this can, how much are you able and willing to pay for a costume? And this can be a straightforward cash transaction, or it can do a trade or barter. But it's important to do goods or services that are equal in value, like a Charizard for a Blue Eyes White Dragon, or your waifu for a trash can. But it's never okay to offer to pay someone social media exposure. Exposure is not a legal tender. It's a cause of death. This also goes for booking shoots with photographers. They're artists that deserve to be paid for their talents and cash. Unless they only work with young women and insist they come alone to photo shoots, then definitely expose them on social media.
So I should expose you on social media?
I'm not a photographer.
I mean, not now that you've changed into your spare cosplay.
Still not a photographer. Alright, so if you have the money, you can commission a cosplay, and usually I end up spending a lot of money in the dealer's room. And so I use the casino method whenever I go in there. You never bring more cash in there than you're willing to lose. Because you never know when you might go too far and just white out like in Pokemon. I don't know what happened. I just woke up next to this shirtless Kylo Ren body pillow and half of my money gone. Yeah. Shirtless Kylo Ren. I lost my place. So in that case, if you run out of money, you'll turn to the place that a lot of us spent our youth, the closet. Let it sink in. Yeah.
I'm not buying that here.
So closet cosplay is taking everyday clothing items and reusing them to create a passable costume. And the key is resourcefulness when creating your costume. And I think video games are great at teaching us this skill. They teach us that anything found inside unlocked chests or smashed pots are perfectly fair game to go into your personal inventory.
Yep.
Which is why I'm now banned from Pottery Barn. As well as Crate and Barrel. And my local Jewish temple. Spoiler, it's nothing like a water temple at all. So the second limitation to making a great costume is time. Now ideally you'll have a stress-free, well-planned out week leading up to the con where everything's just set, right? Everyone had that weekend? Yeah, no, it's a great fantasy that everyone would love to have, kind of like that shirtless Kylo Ren. Yeah. But there's this thing called procrastination. I'll tell a joke about it later. Yeah, that was a procrastination joke. Thank you. If you didn't get it, just wait till tomorrow. Twofer. But also, don't let procrastination bring over its friend distraction. Distraction is like fan service. It doesn't add any value to your plot line. It might take away from what you've already accomplished so far in your quest. Like, hey, I know you're busy with that really important save the world thing, but want to go to the beach for no reason? We can cosplay to next month's con. Or see it now on Patreon. So, the last limitation making a great costume is skill. And with no time or money, you can only succeed with enough skill. But if you're like me and have the sewing skills of Daredevil, you're going to learn all about Amazon Prime. I'm not talking about Wonder Woman, although she does qualify for lots of shipping. I write fanfic. Sometimes. Then also you can do a group cosplay where you want to gather all your friends together and figure out logistics. And so you might just coordinate based on personalities, like classic group cosplays, the Pokemon Evolutions. So you'd be like, okay, for my fiery passion for cosplay, I'll be Flareon, and you're so energetic, you'd be a great Jolteon, and Steve, dank meme lord, you can be Vaporeon. We'll talk about his vaping all day anyway.
Does it not require friends?
Yes, it does. So that was a great segue too. Why do we all go to these fun conventions? Well, it's a chance to meet others who share your passions, right? And I say chance because of the whole socially awkward thing. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm about as socially awkward as a Dragon Ball fight is long. It takes me like 3 episodes to say hi.
Next time, we'll Dragon Ball.
So, Metacondors are also socially awkward. It kind of goes to the whole geek nerd territory, so we're very used to it. And so, as a con culture, we're also very accepting of it. We even accept normies now, which hopefully they'll accept some of us soon. Unlike some of our parents. 33, Mom, it's not a phase. Stay out of the basement. I pay rent. We're also Midwesterners, so when we make strangers, it's a polite exchange of Minnesota nice pleasantries, followed by a game of disengaged chicken. That's something I like to call the conversation. Okay, we're gonna do it anyway. So, first you see someone across the room who catches your eye. Maybe it's a funny T-shirt, maybe it's their cosplay, maybe you've seen them on Patreon.
Really don't like Patreon.
I really don't like Patreon. So remember that compliments open social doors. So generally find something you like about the person, compliment maybe their cosplay or the shirt. If all else fails, ask for a picture together. Although this assumes they're wearing a costume or things just got next level awkward. So you know, pull out your phone, smoothly get a picture together, and thankfully most of us geeks have years of experience operating technology one-handed. And then afterwards, you want to ask if they've got any social media that you want to tag to see if you can stay in contact after that. Instagram is the gold standard these days, or Facebook if you're feeling friendly, or Snapchat if you're feeling more than friendly. Let's get that joke good. Yeah. So another reason I go to conventions is to meet fellow gamers. Any gamers here? All right, good. So unlike the conversation, gamers are more direct in their conversation method. They're not quick to judge. They're not trying to be rude. They're just trying to be more efficient with their time. It's like power gaming. They're get good stats on their socializing per second, or SPS. So, the first question they're going to ask you is, what types of games do you play? And this is to see if they're even in the same ballpark. It also determines if you're a civilized PC gamer or a savage console gaming salt miner.
Xbox. How's Spider-Man?
I don't know. So the second question is socially or competitively? And social is just for fun with friends, and competitive is ranked against the world. And this also helps separate the true gamers from the filthy casuals. All right, this is a competitive crowd. I like it. Yeah. Usually I've lost like 90% of the audience at this point. I like it. So the next question is, well, what do you main? And for you casuals and non-gamers, which might as well be the same thing, right? A main is your primary role or character in the game, and for you casuals and non-gamers, if a competitive gamer ever asks you this question and you don't know, just say feeder. They'll know what you mean.
Go feed it.
Sorry. Yeah. So I know I lost a lot of non-gamers and casuals on that last set, so full disclosure, I'm technically a competitive gamer. My main game is League of Legends, so I got roll off cosplay here. Any League players? All right. So this year I did my 10 provisional games that are used to sort you into your provisional rank or starting rank. And so I'm all excited. I've been playing for years. And window pops up. Congratulations, you've been promoted to Bronze 5, which is currently the lowest possible rank. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm a competitive gamer in the same way that Trump is presidential. I mean, technically we're both still playing the game, but we're surrounded by the absolute worst possible players.
Don't disrespect yourself.
Play Bronze 5?
What's the time at? Anyone know?
10:49.
So we should probably switch over to another comedian here. I had a couple other things planned, but I'll end on that joke. That went well.
Thank goodness.
Next up, we've got Shawn Ryan.
Woo!
Happy birthday, boy.
Happy birthday!
Oh, thank goodness it is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Alright, cut that shit out right now.
Hey, I was talking about vocals in, man.
Alright, just hang on, guys. I'm turning 40, it's not a big deal. It's lucky enough to be Happy Meal's dad, and let's not talk about this shit, alright guys? I didn't bring enough drugs for this.
At least not to share.
Yeah, well no, I can't afford to share, I'm sorry guys. I got fucking bills. We're going to be together here for about 15-20 minutes, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Shawn Ryan. I've been doing comedy for about 5 years. In that 5 years, I've made about $325. So that means, for just pennies a day, less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can sponsor a local comedian. I told my mom that bit, and she was like, Shawn, that's much less than pennies a day. That's why you don't get invited to the show. No, I do invite her. I invite my mom. Of course I invite her, but she's a loud person. And I always say, you can come to the show, but you can't shout things out. She's like, I can't make it to the show. Works for me. You know, my family's kind of messed up. I'm in this room, yours probably is too. But when I was a kid, I was like 6, 7 years old, and I loved Michael Jackson. Everything Michael Jackson did could not be wrong. I was on it. And this is the early mid-'80s, and my uncle would come up and be like, Shawn, Michael Jackson's gonna turn you gay. Uncle Kenny, I'm 7, I don't know what gay means. When I was about 13 years old, 13, 14, somewhere in there, my aunt took me to the beach. And, you know, I got really bad sunburn. You know, it was blistering on my shoulders. And instead of her taking me to the hospital or, like, getting aloe for it or something, she was like, here, Shawn, have a Wild Turkey and Coke for that sunburn. All right, well, you're the adult here, I guess. That must be the treatment for sunburn. My cousin pulls me aside, here, smoke some of this joint for that sunburn. I'm like, I'm drunk, I'll do it. So I'm like, you know, I'm that young, I'm drunk and stoned out of my mind. I'm just like, looking off, I'm like, sunburn? That doesn't even make any sense, man. The sun's like far away. It's my family. That's just the tip of the iceberg. But you know, no matter how screwed up your family is, you got to keep in contact, right? You got to hit them up once in a while, talk to them. Thanks to Facebook, anyway. And I was talking to my Uncle Kenny, and not too long ago, I'm just like, you know, updating him on my life. You know, everything's going great. You know, I got a decent job. You know, pursuing the comedy thing. You know, things are really going great. P.S. You were right about Michael Jackson. Now I love the cock. He didn't answer. So where are my World of Warcraft players at? One? Hey, if it's just one, I'm not telling this joke. You don't have to hide it, guys.
2. One right
2?
here.
Alright, we'll just do it. Fuck it. I wrote this joke just for you guys. I was like, there's got to be a bunch of World of Warcraft players coming here. But fuck it. Alright.
I'll appreciate it.
You know, Illidan Stormrage was in prison for 10,000 years, and finally he got set free and had a hard time getting back into society. He was institutionalized, guys. When you're put away for that long, you know, he's gonna be like Brooke from Shawshank Redemption. It's gonna say Illidan was here. I tried.
It's so dark.
I'm on my second marriage now, so that's pretty awesome. My first marriage, I married my high school sweetheart.
Hey.
Yeah, we got her, yep. And I was married to her for a long time, and you know, we went through our ups and our downs, the good, the bad, you know, and it just got to a point in our life where, you know, I was like really just, you know, ready to settle in, get a good job, make my life better, and she thought, well, it's about time for me to suck every dick in the county. It was on her bucket list. I can't even be mad at her. You know, it's just the timing, you know, like the bad timing. But, you know, actually I tell people that, no, approach me after the show and get all serious and like, oh, you know, that's a pity about that. You know, such a long marriage didn't last. What could have been different? I don't know, like a handful less penises? You're like, less of this, you know? That would have been a perfect marriage without that.
Tell that to
Oh, yeah.
she'll be listening in.
But after that marriage, I did the dating sites. I don't like dating sites. I didn't like them from the moment that I started filling out the profile. I'm like, I like video games. No, don't put that. But I got sick of this so quick. I basically put on my profile, I got bullshit. You got bullshit. Hit me up for dinner, and I'm like, that's as good as deleting your account, right? You know. And I actually got a message. I was like, who the fuck is this maniac? But the message was pretty short and sweet. It just said, hey, you know what? I really appreciate your need for honesty. I'd like to have Chinese food with you. Shit, all right, you know what? Whatever, let's do this. So we meet for Chinese food, and she repeated that same phrase. She said, I really appreciate your need for honesty. And I just want to let you know, right out the gate, that I'm fresh out of prison. Well, right, I'm like any guy. I was like, fucking score, right? You know, it's going to be a good night. And then she was like, 4 meth. I was like, oh, you had me at prison. Should have stopped there. Because, you know, I got an addictive personality. I don't want to be around people who do meth. I don't want to try meth. Alright, I tried meth. Once, guys. I tried meth once. For 6 months. But I didn't get caught. So I'm better than her.
Natural pro.
That's right. After that, I did actually delete my account. And a friend was like, well, you know, I'm going to set you up. I'm like, well, that sounds like a great fucking idea. Let's do that. You know, she's been vetted, apparently. And so we basically meet up at a cover band, which is always great. Oh, I love cover bands. And she just starts pounding drinks like crazy. I don't know if she was nervous or doesn't get out much or doesn't know her limits, whatever the deal was. She was like, boom, boom, one after another. We get about halfway through the night, and I'm already like, it's time for you to go home. Because this was like a Tool cover band, and she was dancing like Shakira. She was like, oh man, I was like, this is fucking done. And then she comes up to me, you're boring, dance with me, you're boring. I was like, oh shit. And my friend's like, hey, you guys look like you're having a great time. Can you get her home? Okay, bye. And she was out the door. I was like, oh shit, now I'm responsible for this. Long story short, you know, I drive her to her house, you know, at the end of the night. It's probably 5 a.m. I don't even know anymore. And she was like, you want to come inside? I'm like, well, I might as well get something out of this fucking date. Yeah, sure, I'll come inside. We go in the back door, and around the corner comes her mom with a toddler in her arms. Who's that? And like the logical part of my brain is like, get out, run. But like the comedian part of my brain is like, stick around, this is gonna get good. You know? And so of course I fucking stayed. I had no more expectations but for a joke to write at that point. We get downstairs and she pops on Jersey Shore, strike 2. Like, all right, you know what? I can muscle this out. It's gonna be great. 5 minutes later, I shit you not, guys, she started drunkenly breastfeeding her toddler in front of me. Yeah, that's awkward for you. I was there. And all I could think was, on the first date? Like, breastfeeding your kid in front of me, that's like 3rd date minimum shit right there. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. What date is that? I don't even know. It is. Oh, let's see. So like I said, I got married for the 2nd time. I went to Vegas with my current wife, my lovely lady over here. I was sorry to point you out. My bad. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, someone who actually plays video games with me, so I love it.
Hey.
But, you know, she's the sweetest person I know. Literally the sweetest person I know. Like, you know, I get down about myself, you know, I get depressed, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm not doing anything with my life. You know, this is all garbage, whatever. She's like, you know what, Shawn, that's not true. You do something with your life. You surprise me every day. Isn't that sweet? Aww. Yesterday, you did the dishes and took out the garbage. Those are exactly the kind of low expectations I can live with. That reminds me of, you know, relationships are hard work, so I have a little bit of advice for young couples or people looking to be in a relationship. A lot of things are going to change in your relationship. Lots and lots of things, but if you care about someone and you think you really click, you got to work on it. Who pays the bills might change. You know? How often you have sex might change. But there's one thing in your relationship that should absolutely never change. The safe word. Just to avoid confusion, mine is spackle. Oh yeah. I remember the moment I fell in love with my wife. The exact moment. You know, I was hearing a certain sound. It was And then I felt guilt. I felt bad. I was like, shit, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I think I love her. So I said it right then. I was just like, oh, I fucking love you. Is that the wrong time? Is that the wrong time?
So close it out.
Fucking nailing it over here. Nailing it. Let's see here. We're getting close to the end of this. All right, let's do this then. All right. You guys know there's over 7 billion people in the world now?
Sure.
Over 7 billion. Like 7 billion is like the mark of enough of anything, isn't it? Like, you know, I mean, like $7 billion, you're like, I have acquired enough dollars. You know, like 7 billion waffles, that's too many fucking waffles. You know? But it's just enough. I mean, you know, people keep having more babies. Everyone wants their fucking quiver full. And, you know, there are people who don't have food. You know, like, you know, we're spoiled here in America, right? Like, you know, you ask a friend if they're hungry, they're like, I could eat. It's like, that's not what I fucking asked you. I asked if you're hungry. You know, you ask someone in another country if they're hungry, they're like, I'm really hungry. You know? But, oh yeah. So, people keep having more babies. We keep running out of more food, and people keep having more babies. It's kind of a self-solving problem, isn't it? I'm not saying you guys should eat babies right now. I'm just saying in 20 years it's going to seem like a pretty good fucking option. Some guy's wife's going to walk up to him and be like, honey, I'm pregnant. I could eat. You know what, guys, I feel like we need to have a talk about what happens in the men's bathroom.
Oh God.
Yeah, we need to discuss this. There's the unwritten rules that I have obviously had to write because no one knows it. Because I went into a men's bathroom in a bar and there was like 6 beer bottles in the toilet.
Where else did it come from?
6 beer bottles in the toilet. That means one guy was just like really wasted and he was like, I don't know what to do with this anymore. But like that means 5 other guys were like, that's where beer bottles go now. Fucking kidding me? So let's go over this. Let's get it out there, spread the word. Rule number 1. If there is a further away stall or urinal open, you use that one.
Yes.
Do not stand next to me. I'm not trying to hold hands. Maybe after some drinks. Whatever. You know, that's not important. That's not important. We're just doing the rules, not the details. Okay. No food or drink? Self-explanatory. I mean, I guess you can bring it in there, but I mean, you're fucking gross. No eye contact. Can we both take a piss without you trying to give me a loving gaze? This is you from Ground Zero. You did that to me. No, you didn't, but I saw you at Ground Zero. How about no talking? No talking at the urinal. There's nothing you can tell me at the urinal that cannot wait until I get to the fucking sink. Unless the building is on fire, shut up. Strictly business. No sex noises, guys.
Why?
What?
Some guy walking up to the urinal and he's just like, oh, shit, it's been an hour. I haven't pissed all day. Alright, you know what, guys? I can't even lie. I just turned 40. I'm that guy. Yeah! But those 4 rules otherwise stand. They're fine and they work. I'm not a manly man, guys. I don't get into sports. You know, I'm more of a StarCraft and weed kind of a guy than a football guy. And, you know, I'd say my car repair skills are elementary at best. And, well, you know, one sport's alright. I kind of like boxing. I think it's just all the hugging that I like. It's all the hugging. Well, I guess by that logic, I should also be into MMA because that's some really intense fucking hugging. Like, whenever I've seen an MMA match on the TV at a bar, I just picture one guy whispering in the other guy's ear, Have you ever been loved so hard? Taps out from love. Alright guys, I really enjoyed being here. If you enjoyed hearing from me, you can check out my podcast, Heathen's Guide to Gaming, with me and a couple other people talking about video games and nonsense as we get annoyingly drunk. So, thank you all. I enjoyed being here. Oh, I'm introducing you. Okay. Here's my good friend Dustin Ellringer. Give it up. And real quick, just boo at me for forgetting that. Come on, boo me. Thank you. Thank you.
There you go, sir.
Okay, how's everybody doing tonight? Thank you so much for coming out and supporting us like this. We love it. I'm going to move pretty quick because I got a lot of material here. So if I don't give you enough time to laugh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me start with, I knew Shawn had really struck it rich when I saw a picture of his now wife dressed as a slutty version of Ash from Pokemon. And I was like, and then they eloped in Vegas and he asked me for a wedding gift and I said you've already found love. I'm kidding, he didn't ask me for anything. Pokemon Go, let's talk about Pokemon Go for a minute. When this first came out, I was at an open mic. And somebody said, toss me a topic of any kind.
Thanks.
They said, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go. He went, I don't want to talk about Pokemon. He was kind of a hillbilly. And I wanted to be a dick, so I was like, Pokemon Go. And he's like, all right, why don't you know what Pokemon is? Why don't you tell me what Pokemon is? And she went, well, you take these little animals and you put them in these balls. And then you make them fight other animals. And he goes, how the fuck is that any different than what Michael Vick was up to? Also, while we're on the topic here, Mr. Gregor right here, I got the greatest lap dance of my life from that midnight convergence.
Yeah, right.
Some of you were lucky enough to see that. I ran out of $1 bills for this man.
Some more.
That's not a joke, that's just me kind of confessing things. I'm a broken shell of a man. I don't have my own shit figured out, but we don't have a title for it, but Maggie, she's Maggie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love you, Maggie.
She told me I looked like I belonged under a streetlight on the corner of someplace sad and lonely.
I love you.
She, our friend Eric, he's a great guy. He's a wine connoisseur. She walked up to me and she was quoting some movie or something. She said something really funny, it was beautiful, it's a sunset. And then in the background, I can see him struggling with his wine and a can of bug spray, and he sprayed his arm, but he'd also spilled wine on his arm. So our friend Eric is going, my arm wines taste like bug spray. Good times. Any Star Trek fans out here? So I got these brothers, these friends, the Ashton brothers. They love that Star Trek Online. Anybody like that? So, I don't know, I would go over there and watch them play. And the first brother's telling me, he's like, I don't want to brag, man, but I'm pretty good at this. Pretty good. I'm a really good captain. Now, mind you, this is a three-dimensional world. You can go fucking anywhere, and he bumped into another ship. But it was cloaked, but it was a Romulan war. The thing was, it was the size of a moon. And he just bumps into it. And he doesn't inhale it. He doesn't, no form, he just, I hear him go, he goes, wah! And he starts button mashing, and you ever seen a ship in Star Trek start to spaz out, laser beams are shooting out in different directions, balls shooting out, and this thing's on fire, and it's starting to fall out of orbit. And, I was like, dude, what the hell, eh? And he pushes the button to hail him, and they're like, we're mad at you. And then he pushes the next one, and they're like, we're sorry. And he looks right at me and goes, pretty good at this game. now he's not in a ship. It's you know, an avatar character, and he's in what appears to be like an ancient library. And he's like, you know, I try to be like Picard, you know, really try to work with people and whatnot. Now, as he's telling me this, a guy came up who looked like a Vulcan and was like, "Excuse me, sir, you can't be in here." And he went, whack! Punch that motherfucker in the face, and the dude collapsed on the ground and shit. And he starts to leave, and I was like, man, he just knocked that guy out. And his brother looks at me and goes, you know what's really fucked up? You can't knock people out in this game. That guy's dead. And I was like, what the shit? Noah? And he was like, trying to save his planet. And I was like, he asked for a library card! Holy crap. So, anybody like those DC animated movies?
Woo! Oh yeah.
Anybody got kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody mistakenly watch those with your kids? Don't do that. So, my son, I have no idea at this point, but my son, Netflix, and I said, which movie do you want? Under the Red Hood, Dad. Yeah. So there's the scene where the Joker asks for a glass of water, the Black Mask is breaking him out of jail, there's 4 henchmen in the room, and he says, can I have a glass of water? The guy hands it to him, and he swirls it, and then he breaks it, and stabs the guy in the jaw, grabs his gun, shoots the other 3 henchmen, and then goes, I'm gonna need something to wear. My 5-year-old looked at me and went, those guys are dead, huh, Dad? I was like, oh man, I am not getting that Father of the Year award. Fast forward, you know, my kids are nerds like me, but sometimes you don't realize like where their nerdism kind of gets inspired. Like my son likes Star Wars, and it never dawned on me that he hadn't watched the movies. He was a big Clone Wars fan, and I'm playing The Force Unleashed. I'm beating up Vader, and in my nerd shit talk, I'm like, take it, Anakin, yeah. My son looks at me and goes, oh, Anakin and Darth Vader have the same name? And I went, no, they don't. Oh, no. I would have rather have told him Santa wasn't real.
Still have time.
I was like, let's figure it out. I was like, let's watch the 3rd movie. That should provide some context. If I forgot how much it doesn't. And then there's the scene where the like little kid's like, Anakin? And then he turns on the lightsaber. Next time you see him, the kids are just laying on the ground. And my kid looks up at me and goes, those kids aren't getting back up, huh, Dad? And I'm like, I am so good at this parenting thing. So then we decided to watch Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
My son went, he went, Dad, I like that movie, but it makes me very sad because the robot dies at the end. And I was like, that's okay. Bitch, I've muscled through Bambi. I watched Old Yeller, like, I can do this. Now, he falls asleep, and thank God, because I was crying so hard. I would rather tell my son, like, Daddy cut his own foot off by mistake than, like, Daddy's really sad that Huggy the robot is gone. And then, like, surprise, like, you know, the microchip is there in his hand, and he just plugs in a new robot, and ta-da, Huggy the robot's back. And so I asked my son, I was like, how far did you watch into that movie? And he goes, oh, I stopped watching after the robot died. And I was like, did you know the robot came back? And he goes, oh yeah, I did know that. How do you like it? Did that hurt, Dad? I taught my son how Google works, and now he's smarter than I am. We watched Wonder Woman 1, and I said, I don't know much about World War I, buddy. And he looked at me and he went, well, you see, Dad, it all started when there were economic tensions in the Balkans. And I fact-checked that shit, and he's right. Can I tell you guys a dirty joke?
No.
I should have known, because this is a community that embraces hentai. Now, I know not all hentai is created equally, but can I get everybody just look to your left, look to your right, make eye contact with the people around you. Several people in this room are into tentacle rape.
You got me.
That was not the reaction I was like, too many people were like, that's right, I'm one of them.
Tentacle rape is like shallow, so you gotta get into Shadman.
I don't know what that is, and based on Gregor's response.
Exactly.
Gregor's like the Dark Lord to me, and if you just made like Seon go like, ho ho ho.
Yeah, Shadman.
Alright, it's a party time! Again, I walked up to Gregor, and he walked up and he said in that fucking amazing accent, he's like, hey mate, you want to donate? Gregor wants some more beer fund. And he's got his little, black, what do you call that? Just Speedo?
Dick pouch, basically.
Dick pouch, okay. Dick pouch, I like that. There's one sticking out all over, and I drag out a chair, and he's like, oh, you want to dance? I wanted to dance. And, he gave me, again, best lap dance of my life, and his body's remarkably soft. But then I upset some girls when I screamed at the go-go dancers, pay attention strippers, this is how it's done. And then initially I was just going to give $1, but I was like, I have at least 2 more here. Oh, that makes 3. And then he was done, I was like, I feel like I owe you money. That's how good of a lap dancer was. Like, seriously, do you get a chance? Anyway, so Maggie, my little sweetie pie there, this is what she tells me. Like, pretty sure this girl's a little damaged herself. And this is why. She's telling me about her favorite characters, and she's like, it's so hot for Malfoy from Harry Potter. Who's your favorite character from Game of Thrones? She's like, I don't know if it was Ramsay or if it was Joffrey, but...
Holy shit.
I was like, who? I'm really into Naruto. You like Naruto? She's like, I like Gaara, before he got psychiatric treatment. When he was still all like, that's how I deal with my problems. I was like, who's your favorite character in The Last Airbender? She says, oh, Prince Zuko. And here's the real kicker too. She thought like Jigsaw was just a guy trying to do his job. And I was like, all right. Who the fuck molested you? Darth Vader? Cobra Commander? The Dark Lord Saren. Show me on The Hobbit where he touched you. I got a lot of nerd-inspired tattoos, and this one right here, this Full Metal Alchemist one, my aunt, who's a bit of a crazy Catholic, she's like, is that a serpent with a crucifix? And I said, well, yes, but it represents the law of equal exchange, and nothing in life is given without something of equal value being given out in its place. And she went, have fun explaining that to Jesus in hell. I was like, why the fuck am I that important that Jesus is visiting me in hell? And he's like, man, you fucked up with that tattoo, huh? You'd have been just fine if it weren't for that tattoo. So I'm like, what the hell are you grading on then? You ever try to ruin your ex's life? Like, I started to get vindictive, and I was like,
I have exes.
I was gonna go. I was like, man, I should do something to the car. Right? That's what people do. And then somebody was like, oh, that car doesn't run. It doesn't work. And I cleaned it out for her once. I found moldy cigarette. I was like, man, it's already as shitty as it gets. So then, maybe I could get her fired from her job, but then she got herself fired from her job. So then I was going to release rats into her apartment, but she already had rats, and they were way bigger than the rats that I had. And I called her out on that, and she was like, hey man, we're all just trying to raise our rats the best we can. Gosh, she's a dumb bitch. You know you're stupid when somebody runs you over with a car, and you're like, lovers' quarrels.
See, when you really want to fuck with someone's car, you take a little BB pellet and then stick it in their tire cap in the air.
You may just have described a felony, sir.
I wouldn't say that out loud.
And then you just put it back on.
I have this uncanny ability to
Don't give him ideas.
hear a voice in a cartoon and pinpoint which actor was saying it. But I'll give you an example. So we were watching Justice League Unlimited.
Yes.
My buddy was like, who is Orion? And I was like, Ron Perlman, and he was like, damn, who's our local senator? And I was like, I don't know, some asshole. Doesn't care about me. A lot of you will notice Deadpool sitting in the back there. He's a bit of an attention whore, and only when he's got the mask on. So the last con, him and our good friend Eric, this gentleman in the green shirt right here. Eric's a good.
Call us both out now.
Now,
Calm down with me.
Alright.
That's how it goes.
what happened was
we get
just
to
for
it.
some reason they were left alone, and then they stopped being able to form full sentences. And it came up, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna go inside," and the one just looks at me blankly, and he goes, "No, go inside. It's hot inside." And then Tony goes, "Anger, anger. You know how it be, but it do.
That's why it
Be
is.
how it do. Anger." This went on for a while. Now, a lot of people know I like to experiment with fun drugs. You know, I'm not let's try smoking crystal meth but I will try like a little bit of, you know, feel good. So I kept asking about a drug, and all they'd say is it will make you happy. I've done so many drugs now with the same person that I'm certain that if I even have like a life-changing experience, you know, and like in the movies when like Morgan Freeman or, you know, the entity takes some sort of form to help like grip your mind, it's gonna be Chris, the ninja guy in the back there, the Naruto guy. And I was like, oh damn, you called me out. No, he's like, I'm gonna be like, whoa, Chris, he's like, I'm not really Chris, man, but your mind needed to wrap your head around this, and Chris is usually there when you do too fucking much because you're stupid. Usually the last thing you hear before I go, uh-oh, is Chris go, yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that much. Always steering me in the right direction, though. Chris, I love you. I really do hope, though, like, someday, like, that's my, like, guardian angel. Is, like, takes the form of Chris, and he's like, yeah, I just figured this would be a comforting form. Like, this guy's held your hand a few times when you were having panic attacks. I just figured. This was a text message that I got from Deadpool, and I was really concerned about my friend there. It seemed like he was depressed, you know. I just think he was growing up a little too fast. And I got, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Oh yes, laugh out loud. I'm downgrading to the man-child premium plan. It has more fun and less consequences. But they have a feature if you ignore them and add in an I don't care policy. Pretty much spells them out. No, I forgot. I promised I wouldn't say that one. I would have gotten into trouble. And I don't know if you've seen that guy outside of the costume. He's fucking terrifying, dude. He looks like Mexican Goldberg, and he's not. I know, and he's not Mexican or Goldberg, so like it's scary. Like, dude, he's jacked. Like, and then he's like, I don't like my my stomach looks. I'm like, shut the hell up. I can't gain weight to save my goddamn life.
Oh, look at you.
I know. I know. Everybody's like, oh, there's a comic stuff. Like, look at my arms, man. Like, it's hard to like. I gotta like find reasons to be like, oh, this right here.
Look at those 12-inch pythons.
You want to hear my favorites? Here's one. You might want to call animal control because there's a couple of pythons on there. While you're at it, get the vet on the phone because these puppies are sick. I can't remember anymore, but those are both pretty cool. Let's see here. I usually cosplay as the Joker. I don't know if any of you have ever seen me do that. I do the Suicide Squad Joker.
Woo!
I do take some gruff for it, but
Underrated.
I'll put it on. I put it on this dating app profile, and this girl immediately hit me up. And there were 4 pictures of me dressed normal, but the 4th one, or the 5th one, and she says, I noticed you like to cosplay as the Joker. That's probably a red flag. And I was like, yeah, probably. Do you like sushi? And she was like, yeah, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. I just want to make somebody mad with that. Now I went a little too fast, so I am gonna give. Oh, I will. I'll tell this one. Does anybody like to play Monopoly?
No.
Nobody likes to play Monopoly.
The best game of Monopoly I ever played. I was in jail. We had 3 games: Stratego, Risk, or Monopoly. Now, if you've never played Monopoly with a bunch of street hoods, you need to. It's a whole different way to play. Like at one point, this one guy, he looked at me, he was like, hey man, I'll trade you the Waterworks for Reading Railroad. It's a good deal. Take it! And I was like, are you trying to fucking strong-arm me at Monopoly? I'm not gonna let you do it. That's not how... And there was this, I kid you not, this, like, only in St. Cloud, Minnesota, there was this Asian gentleman who referred to himself in the 3rd person as the Duke. And he was not shy about them arresting him for selling meth, or how much meth he sold, or how much meth he was going to sell when he got out of jail. And we had this kid who was just in there for the weekend, like he'd just done something dumb and drunk, and it was the way that, and this guy talked to everybody, man. He was belittling to his own people. I heard him say, all Chinese people who are not from Shanghai or Beijing, the hillbilly. And they're like, Jesus Christ, that's offensive on so many levels. So this guy, you know, he just, I mean, everybody, man, he had offensive things to say to everybody, but this kid landed on the, like, pay 200% of your income or $200, and he's like, 200% of your income or $200, whatever, great. And the kid was like, I don't. And so this guy's ridiculing him when this other gentleman, one who looks just like Daryl from Hello, My Name is Earl, and the other one who just looked like a scary Indian, came up, and I heard the word. I know you're not making fun of a motherfucker because he doesn't read or write well. And I was like, actually, they're making fun of him because he's bad at math. They were making fun of me because I don't read well. I'm pretty sure he's on our side. Yeah, so that was the end of that. The Duke, he didn't talk no more. Anyway, fuck that guy. Jail sucks. Okay, I think we're getting close to the end of our show, right? I'm a whore for attention. Alright, so tomorrow, if you guys enjoyed this, I'm going to be doing comedy tomorrow. We've got an event at the Park Activity Center in Cottage Grove. It's an artisanal art event. There's a lot of really crazy artwork out there. We have foam smithers, jewelry makers. You have like fine wooden, glow-in-the-dark jewelry that you can show your grandma, and she's going to go like, wow, that is so awesome, and then take it into the rave, and people are going to be like, holy shit. That's mind-blowing. There's just going to be a lot of great arts and crafts there. It's $5 to get in. Every dime goes to help needy kids that parents were killed in combat. Now, the reason I'm telling you all about this is because there's a gentleman at the top that has tried really hard to sabotage this event. So we're trying to pull in as many people as we can. Long story short, what I can tell you is this guy thinks that a woman's place is in the kitchen or wherever the fuck he tells her to be.
Gross.
Yeah, so he did everything he could to sabotage this because he didn't like the young, ambitious lady that organized the event. He even at one point tried to credit me with it, and I was like, I love compliments, but don't try to make me sound like I'm smarter than I am. You're setting us both up for failure, you fucking jackass. Look, long story short, if you can come out and support us, you'll be supporting a lot of great causes. There's going to be a lot of cool art. We're there from 10 to 4:30. If you have any questions, we're going to have some flyers up, or you can talk to me or any one of our team. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting comedy tonight.
So, more shameless plug. So, if you want to follow me on social media, I've got some business cards up here. It's Peter the Great MN on everything. Also, we'll be at Dice Show Con next month. For those going out to Wisconsin,